With Bitcoin looking primed to bust through 69,000, nice, to 70,000, to then new all-time highs above $74,000 and beyond. Are the Moon Boys about to pull off the biggest pump of all time? Or are the Moon Boys about to pull off the biggest mega pump of all time? So if you understand Bitcoin above $100,000 is only a matter of time, hit that like, hit that subscribe, get signed up to Femex below if you want to buy Bitcoin, altcoins, trade, or receive large deposit bonuses. And without any further ado, let's completely, completely dump on into the price of Bitcoin, where we just got another weekly close. This is absolutely ginormous. Before we actually jump into these charts, there's a lot of things that I want to highlight and go over. So basically, half of the population, about 49% of people buy lottery tickets. However, roughly only about 0.2% of people buy Bitcoin. Why is that? It's kind of crazy, right? Like pretty much, I mean, I guarantee everybody watching this video knows somebody that has bought lottery tickets or most likely has bought lottery tickets themselves. In fact, I think almost everyone that I know has bought a lottery ticket. But has everyone that I know bought Bitcoin? Not even close. I mean, a very small amount, even though that I've been like investing in it and talking about it for years and years. Maybe more people that I know buy Bitcoin than the average person, but still, not many people I know truly are investing, especially at the pace that they invest in things like lottery tickets. Now, why is that? People have very low time horizons. They want instant gratification and they want to get rich immediately. So even though the chance of getting rich on a lottery ticket is like basically pretty much like impossible, like if you buy a lottery ticket, are you going to make $100 million? Maybe, but 99.999% of people won't. It's basically a waste of your money. If you buy Bitcoin and you wait even 4 years, historically, you were guaranteed to always make not only money, but like a pretty good amount of money. But that's not attractive to people because it's, you know, it takes time. And I just think it's important to know that like everybody, especially over these next few months where I believe we're going to be making insane gains, there are going to be a lot of people, especially those people that are not, well, only the people that are not invested, which is most people, are going to say how lucky you are and how whatever the excuse is. But just keep in mind, those people have basically no vision for the future, no patience, no ability to accept delayed gratification, and to be honest, they don't deserve to make money with crypto. If you look at it and you think, oh, you know, I can't wait that long, or whatever it is, and you don't even bother researching it or anything, then you don't deserve to make the money. Not only are the people that are making and have been making money with Bitcoin, not only are those people not lucky, but they put in the work, the time to educate themselves, to get invested, and they deserve those returns. And if you don't do that, and you can't invest for, let's say, even a couple of years, you don't deserve the money. And the crazy thing is most people actually have not made a lot of money with Bitcoin because most people in the world have not held on to Bitcoin for an entire cycle. Even some people get in and they might dump it after a couple months and they're like, oh, it's taking too long. I mean, then yeah, you don't deserve to make the money. I mean, it's as simple as that. This is something that most people honestly don't benefit from because most people are too selfish. Most people are too impatient, basically. It's not lucky making money on Bitcoin. It's actually very hard to do something very simple, which is to just buy it and wait. It's the simplest thing ever, but most people can't do it. Obviously, I mean, this is the biggest pattern, I think, in crypto. It's a like 4-year, basically, cup and handle. As of this last weekly close, we're seeing, you know, about 3.5 years into this massive cup with a handle. We see elections coming up. It's honestly just an insane recipe for what I think is going to be the biggest bust of all time. And we look at this chart. This is the 2016 election. Look what happened immediately after the election. The 2020 election, look what happened quite literally immediately after. And here we are. 2024 election, just about, in the US, just a couple of days away, about a week or so away. Do you think that something similar is going to happen like it has in the past? I would, you know, I personally think that it's very likely that we're about to see something like this, big time. We also see that Vanek was on CNBC today talking about 3 of the 6 members of BRICS, so the UAE, Argentina, and Ethiopia, are mining Bitcoin with government resources. And Russia's wealth fund is also investing in Bitcoin mining through these BRICS countries with the goal of setting global trade in Bitcoin. Man, the writing is on the wall. I don't know how people are not understanding where things are shifting. The US dollar is an absolutely horrible reserve asset. It's just inflated away. It's just, every year that goes by, it becomes less and less valuable. And that's what a reserve asset should be? No, it's the exact opposite. And Nesta XBT just highlighting how simply we look at August to October of 2023. We're looking at the same range here just a year later compared to, the comparisons are insane. Everything. And we're going to look at the charts in a second, but it's just so obvious. And so far, literally, it has been going exactly the direction and the time frames of the move have been going basically exactly as the people that have been bullish on this market for the past 2 years have expected. The exact people that were bearish at the beginning of 2023 being completely wrong the past 2 years. People that were bullish the beginning of 2023 have been completely spot on the entire time. And it doesn't look like that's changing right now. It looks like things are even more likely to be accurately going the bull's way than even the past 2 years. We see that the expansion of Bitcoin price, absolutely, I think it's coming big time. We see this sideways consolidation with a downward trend. We see that the RSI, again, I personally think we're about to see this RSI absolutely explode into this overbought territory over the next few months, especially the first quarter of 2025. It's a prime setup. And I think $100,000 is kind of the starting point for Bitcoin's move up. I don't think alt season is quite here just yet. I think Bitcoin honestly will do a completely massive move before we see altcoins really shine a little bit. But that's just kind of like historically every time what has happened. And it doesn't, this is a chart by Jelly on X as well. Again, the most simple downward sloping channel, descending channel, with us now getting touches above this channel as support after breaking above it just very recently. This couldn't be more clear to me. So we look at this on the weekly chart. We just got a weekly close with a nice wick showing a retest of some lower levels right around about 65, and then continuing where we are right here above all key weekly moving averages, the 21 and 50. Also on the daily chart you see this exact same thing here. If you do want to draw these trend lines to because people draw them differently, but let's say we're just getting the tops of the wicks or something like that, and we're getting rid of this line, you can see, we've retested kind of the top of this, something like this. There's no saying we still might not get a pullback. We still very easily could, as long as we get a pullback above 60K. This is still insanely bullish. We put in so far, this is a low right here of about 65. Over the next couple days, we could even have a low, maybe come down somewhere like here and then set a new higher high. In fact, we're so close right here that it almost makes you think I would just put on the brakes in the very, very immediate short term. We could still easily get a pullback and it wouldn't change. It would still be as bullish as, the most bullish scenario. It's so insane. So even the daily chart, the last time we had the 21 and 50-day moving averages go above this white line, which is the 200-day moving average, the last time we had this happen, okay, you see this green and blue going above the white here. Last time we saw that same moving average cross was back at the end of October 2023 when Bitcoin was exploding. As Bitcoin exploded, to those all-time highs ultimately. It took, there was some shakeouts. Look at this, for example. All the bears back in January 2024 were screaming that was the top as we went below 40K, and you wait a few weeks and we went up to 74K, almost, about 73,000. So we've gotten that cross again. I'm sure everyone's very aware that, the RSI and MACD still in the most bullish posture or bullish positions they've been since in over a year, since the last time we had a mega pump. So much of this momentum has cooled down, giving Bitcoin room to go to the upside massively, okay? I think a 6-digit Bitcoin is going to come a lot faster than people are expecting it to, and I don't think it's going to stop. I don't think it's going to stop right at 100K. I think things might get a little bananas. This trend, same thing. It's very clear to me, I think, where we're going. The stock market is something I've also been, interested in watching, especially over the last couple of trading sessions, just because it's in the middle of some sort of tiny pullback. This potentially has the chance to be I mean, the week just started, but it has the chance to be 2 consecutive red weekly candles. I mean, it's still way too early to tell. I mean, by tomorrow, we could have this just be a massive green candle enveloping. SPX, for example, is currently like less than 1% away from new all-time highs. So that could change like that. That's not really, I wouldn't even say that's a pullback. However, it has some slightly red candles there. And the DXY as well has kind of been running into a little resistance over the past couple of trading sessions also. Tesla is absolutely like, I mean, this is insane too. I've been watching this. Tesla's retesting the highs of back in July in the summer of this year. I mean, look how quickly it happened. It was getting dumped on. It went from 213 to like 270 in just a few trading sessions. That's what the stock market can do. And that's what Bitcoin can do. Gold as well has broken out, and I think Bitcoin's going to follow it hugely. Just like MicroStrategy has broken out, I think Bitcoin's going to follow it. But really, all of these signals we're seeing on the shorter term and medium term timeframes are just completely bananas to me. Bitcoin is looking really strong. And again, I don't personally care what happens tomorrow. If we get a little bit of a pullback, as I mentioned, we could still even drop thousands of dollars as long as we put in continued higher highs and higher lows, meaning we don't go below the 59,000 low that we put in on October 10th, then it's still bullish. And we're very likely to then put in a higher high above the 69,000 nice highs that we put in on October 20th and 21st. And then that would shatter the previous lower highs here that were set back in July of 2024. I mean, this pattern of lower highs is in the process of getting decimated. It's in the process of shifting into a very bullish breakout. And that's really all there is to say. I mean, this is such a bullish environment. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me how anyone can look at this and trick themselves into thinking this is some insanely bearish setup. I mean, especially when you look at anything where you zoom out and you see what happens in this type of setup. Quite literally, we're in the most bullish spring-loaded setup of every 4-year cycle. Out of every 4 years, this is quite literally the worst time to be bearish. Every 4 years, so far, Bitcoin has completely exploded once every 4 years into a massive bull market. And this is exactly when that happens historically, based on facts and data, not opinions. And so to be bearish here, you have to basically be saying, I don't think Bitcoin is going to follow what it's done before. I don't think that the election cycle and the Bitcoin cycle and liquidity cycle, I don't think those things will impact the price of Bitcoin positively. You have to deny history and think that it's going to be completely different this time. And that is much more far-fetched and much less likely than the simpler option, which is maybe it will just do what it does every 4 years after the Bitcoin halving cycle at the election, during election season in the US. It's not complicated here. You don't have to overthink much. Okay? I've been around for a couple of these. I mean, these are... Everybody that denies them so far has just been so insanely wrong. And it's just crazy to me that there's still people out there that still hold on to that belief of, oh, we're just going to have a mega dump instead. That's fine. I mean, the more people that believe that, the more likely we're actually going up. And so far, history has showed us we keep going up. And get set up to Femex below for my Bitcoin or altcoins.